Welcome back to Financial Times in the car line. I got about 26 minutes before I got to pick up the kid and drop some knowledge on you. It's going to revolve around retirement accounts, Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, 401ks. What is right for you? Let's get into it. So first and foremost, there's going to be a lot of butts in this video because the IRS likes big butts and they cannot lie. Heyo. The reason why, there's so many caveats when it comes to retirement accounts. It's just let's spool it up while we got time. First and foremost, if you do not have a Roth IRA and you are eligible, and we'll go over some eligibility requirements, open one up today. Doesn't matter if you fund it or not, because there is a rule in place that you cannot take advantage of a Roth IRA unless it's open for not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 years. The account needs to be open for 5 years for you to take advantage of the tax benefits that a Roth IRA offers you when you retire at 59 and a half. So let's get into it. Every dollar you put into a Roth IRA, up to $7,500 a year, or if you're over the age of 50, I believe it's $8,600 a year. Hopefully they raise that going forward. You don't pay any taxes on the proceeds. So when you retire at age 59 and a half, all that accumulation, let's say if you invest in dividend funds, which I know I preach like it's going out of style, but every dividend you make doesn't get taxed. The proceeds that you get from a qualified dividend does not get taxed, and non-qualified. So do your own research on all this. Make sure you research, everything I'm talking about. But set up your Roth IRA today. Start the clock ticking. The second you start, you don't even have to put any money in. But the second you start the clock ticking, at least you've got the account open. Let's talk about the traditional IRA. Same thing. You can deposit $7,500 a year or $8,600 a year if you're over 50. But here's the difference. The Roth IRA, you don't pay any taxes when you retire, right? But you don't get any tax deductions during the tax year that you're investing it, okay? Traditional IRA, typically you will get a tax deduction. But like I said, the IRS loves butts. What if your company offers a 401k? Well, now you're on what they call a pro rata rule, to where you're eligible for the 401k through the company. So they say what you can and cannot deduct on a traditional IRA based on your income. Got to talk to your accountant about that. Always recommended. So here's the thing. When you retire on a 401k and a traditional IRA, what happens? Let's say you want to take out $100,000 a year. Let's say you're in a 25% tax bracket. Well, in order to get $100,000 a year, you're going to have to calculate up 25% in order to get that $100,000. So your account value is going to drop that much quicker than a Roth IRA. Why? Because when you withdraw money out of a Roth IRA and you need $100,000, all you need to do is take the $100,000. That's it. In a traditional, in a 401k, you're going to have to take the $100,000 plus taxes, because if you don't take the taxes, guess what? You're going to get less than $100,000. So if you take out $100,000 and you're in a 25% tax bracket, you're going to walk away with $75,000. When you take out $100,000 in a Roth IRA, you're going to walk away with $100,000. So my opinion, that's just my old humble opinion, Roth IRA all day long. But then you say, but Ted, I don't qualify for a Roth IRA. I make too much money. What are the income requirements? Here's another but. You cannot invest in a Roth IRA. Double check my numbers. Remember, always do your research. But it's $153,000 for single filers, or I believe it's $242,000 for joint, filing joint or married. So if you hit that threshold, you can no longer put your money into a Roth IRA. Now you're like, wah, 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 but Ted, I want the tax-free money when I retire. Well, guess what, my friends? You too can take advantage of the Roth IRA. But the only way you can do so is to invest your money into a traditional IRA. When that tax year is up, you can do what they call a mega backdoor rollover. But like I said, there's so many caveats with these retirement accounts. You do the mega, what the mega backdoor is, what they do is you take your 401k or your traditional IRA and you roll it over into a Roth IRA. What happens is you don't pay any penalties, but you have to pay the tax because during the year you got tax deferments on a traditional IRA. So the tax deferments that you got, they have to be paid commensurate to your income. So run that, if you want, run that by a financial advisor or your accountant. But what I would recommend doing, if you don't, rule of thumb, look at your taxes last year. How much money did I make? What was my tax bracket? If it was 25%, set aside 27% in taxes. Go a little bit above and beyond. It's not going to kill you, but it at least will save you from a tax bill at the end of next year. Be like, what is this crap? Oh, why do I owe so much money? So keep that in mind. Backdoor rollover. Look it up online. Anyone can do it. Honestly, the day I retire, I will take the tax hit on my 401k through my job that I accumulated over the past 20 years. I will take that immediate tax hit, pay it all up front, roll it over into a Roth that I already have open. Every single dividend I make out of that, tax-free. That's the best thing about a Roth. So by all means, do your research, but make sure you open up your Roth today. If you want to go traditional, people say, but Ted, I want the tax benefit, throughout the year. So run that by your accountant. If you do a traditional IRA, what's the tax benefit? What's the tax benefit? Well, it's going to, I looked at mine. I always ask my accountant every year, hey, if I did a traditional IRA and I put in, $7,000 into that or $7,500 into that instead of the Roth, what would my benefits be? And he's like, oh, you would get an additional $900 back in your taxes. I'm like, for me to invest $7,500 to get $900 back? No thanks, because I'd rather put it into a real estate fund, because that's a one-time shot, one-time thing. I can put my money into a real estate investment trust and make 15% annually year over year over year. I can split that up between a real estate investment trust, a mid-grade high yield fund, and a high yield fund in terms of dividends, and I can make 30% a year in dividends. So keep that in mind. It's all relative. Yeah, you might get $900 back in taxes, but that's only like 13%. And that's a one-time shot. Next year, that doesn't exist. So, my opinion, Roth is the way to go. That's just my humble, that's what I do. I'm not a financial advisor, but I was in banking for 20 years and looking at investment portfolios. The individuals that had the Roth IRAs that didn't pay any taxes were the ones that were living a heck of a lot more comfortably than everybody else. So just keep that in mind. But always check your tax bracket. It's always wise to know exactly where you stand, and always check, going forward, potential, tax benefits or tax. Oh, my thing is falling off, man. Well, my suction cup fell off. But anyways, yeah. So Financial Times in the car line. I hope that breaks down the Roth IRA versus traditional IRA versus 401k. And the last but not least, that $7,500 is, I believe, is between your Roth and your traditional. You can only go half and half. So if you want to go the full $7,500 in traditional, feel free. But just know, when you retire, you're going to get taxed on it. And here's my question before I leave you. When you retire, what do you think? Do you think your taxes are going to be lower, or do you think they're going to be higher? If you think they're going to be higher, I would be right there with you. If you think they're going to be lower, give me some of your optimism. I want to eat it up. But I personally think tax brackets will probably go up. We're at an all-time low right now in the history of taxation. if you look back in the history of personal income tax, we're pretty low right now in terms of, average everyday wage earners. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions, comment below. Comment the brokerage you're using. I love Fidelity, but I have SoFi, and I also have international brokers. So comment below who you run your independent brokerage firm retirement accounts through. I'd love to know, to see what your thoughts are on each. All right. Hope you all have a great day. Financial Times in the car line. Keep pushing, keep budgeting, keep going towards that financial future that you want, because only you can make it happen. No one else is going to come to your rescue. So keep that in mind.